Yeah, I don't think so.
We just start talking and then it happens.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's start doing it and let it happen. Hello, everyone. And where's my chat opening? There it is. Welcome to Chat from the Golden Vault, our weekly live streamed post session discussion. We talk about what just happened during what did we just play? Keys from the Golden Vault, session
Keys to the
one.
Golden Vault.
If you haven't watched that
Learning the
session yet,
names of the campaign and the names of
please,
the
I gotta
characters.
start learning everything again, man. It's all new. First day of school. Please go do that because there will be spoilers. I'm DM Eric, and joining me we have Vero's player Chris
Hello.
and Sherry's player Raymond.
Hello.
That is
This
correct.
was this was session one of Keys and Gold Vault. So session 0 we couldn't quite do the prelude thing, which I was thinking the prelude was going to be that jail scene.
Yeah.
And it was not going to be nearly that long. It was literally just going to be
Let's
like
say, yeah.
well, I was picturing almost like a skill challenge. Like, hey, just do something, tell a story, let everybody maybe roll a single
Not as open-ended.
check, yeah, in order to escape, and then like obviously you guys can get out some way, but then whoever rolls the best will, or not whoever rolls. If you make your skill check, then you'll get inspiration, kind of a thing. If you watched my Dragonlance preludes, that was basically how I did that one. But because we couldn't do the prelude during session 0 because we had technical difficulties. We did it here, and then you guys were just having such a ball, just role playing and meeting each other in the opening.
Just messing around.
Yeah. Once we kind of got to that part, I was like, let's just try to kind of treat this as a big theater of the mind, like sequence. I'm curious to get y'all's thoughts on that because that's not something we usually tackle too much. When we play D&D, it's just kind of this big open-ended, like there's not even really a map for this. It's just you're in a situation. How do you get out of it?
I mean, as an opening, I thought it was fun. Yeah.
I will say the very beginning where you all are stuck together ended up being a really fun angle because I feel like often when we start these campaigns, I very much put you into a cinematic railroad right off the bat, and then you guys have to start dealing with that or having to fight in combat or something. And there's not a lot of chance to actually like meet each other necessarily, and that can kind of get awkward.
Yeah.
And this was the opposite, where you guys were really, hopefully I didn't do it too much, but you guys were given like absolute free reign to just, and the whole time I'm thinking, I know what I'm going to pull the trigger and having this NPC show up.
Right.
But
right.
I didn't expect to wait like however long, I don't know what it was on the clock, but it was much longer than I was anticipating because you guys were just shooting the shit back and forth, basically.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. I think that's, yeah. That was fun.
I love that one point Heather was like, what are you all in for?
Right, yes, exactly. For me personally, I had to sort of like, during that whole sequence, I was reckoning with myself a little bit because I was like, I wanted to roleplay my character as like he wouldn't talk to anybody, he would just sit in the corner and, you know. But I was like, but then I'm being that player. I don't want to be that player. That's just like, I don't want to engage.
Oh, you're not engaging? Yeah, that's tricky. That's like nobody, if somebody's like, I'm going to play the loner character who's super like antagonistic and jerky.
You don't want to do that.
That's kind of a red flag for the DM. Be like, okay, like if you know the player really well and you can pull it off, then that's one thing. But yeah, I think you're right. You don't necessarily want to be like too far into that direction.
Right. So the intro sequence, I was wrestling with that because I was like, I don't want to, as my character is defined, I don't want to talk to any of these people, but I need to talk. I need to engage with the scenario that the DM has put forth.
Yes, thank you.
But you know, Heather and Rochelle and Reese immediately were going like immediately. As soon as Ray jumped in, he was going. So I feel like I didn't feel like I was holding anything up by being the dude in the corner. You know,
that's true. Yeah, that's you don't want every character to be the big mouthy like quippy character either. That can get real crazy. But no, yeah, I thought it was funny, and then we immediately got some gags out of it with the hiding behind the toilet thing. So
yeah. That's so.
Let me explain myself.
No, I thought about this at one point because somebody in the chat, or maybe it was a Discord, had said like, "Oh, Chris is playing like a serious, edgy character."
Yeah,
I was like, "Listen, folks, whatever character I play, no matter what my intention for the character is going to immediately go silly just because of the nature of my relationship with my friends."
Yes.
So me playing a serious, edgy character, don't worry about it.
But
He's
also,
not gonna be serious and edgy too long.
To your point, you don't want every single character to be a jokester, just like you don't want every single character to be super serious necessarily. Like you need the comic relief in those cases, or you need like the straight man or whatever in that case.
Right.
So it's fun to play off those kind of characters, and I think everybody finds that balance pretty quick.
Right. Yeah.
Because people can like playfully mock you, and you can give it right back to them and all that. And I think that's
exactly.
It is funny when we're all like having these like.
But I was never worried about that. I was never worried about being like the edgelord guy.
Yeah.
I was like, no, in my head I was like, no, because my friends are immediately gonna mock my character for something.
Yeah, I'm self-aware about what I'm getting into here.
And the edgelord corner is gonna get shaved off immediately, so I'm not worried about that.
Very true. Yeah,
I like that you still try though.
I still tried. I still went in hard, even knowing.
I also love that Sherry kind of like took over the reins as being the leader, because of the key thing.
Man,
pretty fun.
Ray, as much as you initially sold that your character was like, he's not good at what he's doing. Your like first act was like a second level spell that was the most effective thing that any of us did this entire session.
Well, I like the fact that you're actually like a good wizard, but you have like no self-confidence.
But you don't know it?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah. But yeah, that suggestion spell, I had to like look it up because a weird thing about the new Roll20 thing is that it doesn't give you the full description of a spell.
Yeah, we've run into that issue in my Dragonlance game. The UI for that is weird.
I looked it up because at one point, what it said was like, if they fail to save, they're charmed by the player. I was like, in my head, I was like, God damn, Eric's giving Ray a lot of leeway for the charmed condition. Like he's letting Ray like tell him what to do. So I looked up the spell. I was like, oh, okay. The spell actually means you kind of mind control them a little bit. You give them a directive.
A little bit, yeah. I did stretch it a bit. I kind of kept reinforcing which I appreciate that you tried to. We went back and forth on it, but you did have him charmed, and he was trying to fulfill the original objective you gave him to the best of his ability, which that part is a lot of gray area there. So he would be very honest about saying like to his fellow guards, like, hey, yeah, this is all a big mistake. But the other guards, they're not charmed. So they're gonna be like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Boris? Like, what's going on? So I did like it. It worked on that one guard, but yeah, I think you realize like, okay, this guy is taken care of, but he may even be a liability towards the other ones because he's not going to be smart about it either.
Yeah, I had to look up charm though, because to me, I was like, "Oh, charm means he's my friend," like that sort of thing. But it's really just a condition.
Yeah, I think the charm condition mainly means they can't hurt you and treat you as like a friendly. Let's see, what is the actual ruling for?
I feel like for the suggestion spell, it's like a couple of spells where they use the condition just as a way to say like if a NPC has immunity to the charmed condition, the spell won't work on them.
Correct, you're correct.
Because the suggestion spell doesn't actually charm them.
I think it does technically. It does technically charm them, but it has other effects.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because it does say they have the charmed condition, which means they can't hurt you. Basically, is what the charmed condition means.
Yeah, I think so.
But it obviously suggestion goes beyond
on
that.
Social checks, I think, was the other half.
That's the other thing, is I could have had you been making. But the thing is, I didn't want to like.
But the suggestion spell says like once you give them the idea,
they want to do that, right? Yeah. So, but if you want to do other things, and maybe, but again, this was not meant to be a big lengthy scenario, and I'm trying to keep in my head like, how long do I even want to get with this? Like, I kind of felt bad when you guys.
How in depth do we want to get here?
Yeah, I literally set like the DC in my head at like 12 for these initial tasks, but you guys were kind of failing some of these, and I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
I want them to fail forward, but this is getting a little dicey here.
It's difficult.
Yeah. We'll have to play around with that spell, though. I mean, you're right. The conversations we had, the more topics we talked about, it still had to do with the main goal, but maybe it wasn't as direct. I was like, well, how about you help it with this plan instead?
What's interesting is
still was the main goal. But
you can treat it like a monkey's paw or like Genie Wish or whatever, where like come up with a because it says 25 words. So if you get into your lawyerese and like really write down, and I probably will make you like write down exactly so we can reference it and be like, okay, what exactly did you say? Because that's how the spell is going to work. Because it literally says a course of activity no more than 25 words. And it has to sound achievable and not involve anything that would be suicidal.
Which I mean, I think we generally.
Which yeah, I think that is correct. The only problem is you kept, I think, trying to add like modifiers or talk to him and stuff, and there's a gray area there because if you just said, "Well, help us escape," then like okay, he would try to help you escape, basically.
But also that brings up the question of whether they become catatonic. But he's given the suggestion. Like, are they still like able to have a conversation?
Yeah.
You know, like, are they still like, you know, because
for sure, yeah. And that's what I was acting to him. It was like, yeah, and to him, that's how he would act. Like, but he wouldn't be deceptive about it necessarily, unless. And maybe I guess you could have said like, hey, you really need to like, you know,
lie to your friends. And
lie to your friends. Help us get out of here. Right. But he might say like, oh no, it's just all misunderstanding. They'll understand. He was kind of almost playing it like he's charmed. He's not bright. Like he's not duplicitous about this. So I'm sure we'll come up with more.
What it highlights that this is one of those spells that like requires as much imagination from the DM as it does the player.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's
a really fun spell because it's basically a Jedi mind trick, but for a lot of circumstance, and I am very cognizant of the fact it's a second level spell. You are spending a spell slot, so that's why I'm always trying to work with you about that. But I do think it's fun that it specifically like has that legalese, like, hey, suggest an activity, and that person will try to do that activity to the best of its ability, and and concentration, you know, all that stuff. So it was a great use of that spell. So I'm sure we'll see it many more times. Like I said,
it was the most effective thing we did during that whole escape. Was that spell?
Yeah.
I was worried though that, you know, with Heather's character bonking him, with Reese's character trying to grapple him, that could have affected. But it doesn't say anything about, you know, disadvantage.
Well, they did. Right. Well, the other thing I'll say is I believe they did both of those things first, and then I think you did the suggestion.
Right. I mean, I was just waiting to see, but like, for example, charm person, right? If you are attacking them, then you have disadvantage. But suggestion
hostile. I don't think
didn't say anything about that suggestion.
Suggestion says it ends if you deal damage to the target, or your allies deal damage to the target.
Yes, but if you look at charmed, or is it charmed? Well, anyways, you know, some spells you might have disadvantage if you've been trying to harm the creature or
them.
Something like that.
I don't think suggestion does actually.
You probably would have had disadvantage, I imagine.
Yeah, I think that's true of charm person, but I don't think suggestion has that rider. So I think suggestion you could use in the middle of combat and immediately shut them down, basically.
Here you go. Charm person is it has advantage on their saving throw if you or your allies are fighting it. But suggestion didn't have anything like that. So I was like, okay, I gotta pick that one.
That's also a second level spell versus a first level spell.
Yeah,
no, I love it.
For me too. Is that when I was thinking that, when I was like, Eric's giving him a lot of leeway, then I looked at the spell, I was like, oh, it's a level 2 spell. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it's pretty legit. Yeah. Good use of it though. I think we'll see a lot of very useful spells coming out of you. I don't think you took like any damage spells whatsoever. It's like the opposite of what Heather takes. Spellcaster, it's all damage all the way down.
Yeah.
That's what I said last time. I wasn't going to take any damage stuff.
It's all utility.
I love it. It's a very,
Yeah, I think it took us like over an hour to get out of that little tutorial play. And now that I think about it, I probably should have put a whole like dungeon map together and done the whole thing and just made it a...
I was wondering that at some point. I was like, okay, this is so involved. I'm like, why is there not a map here?
I know.
Then I thought about the same thing you did. I was like, I bet he didn't intend for this.
I didn't necessarily intend for it to be involved, but I didn't want to shut it down because I think everybody's having fun. So I was like, let's just keep going with it. I did feel bad halfway through. That's like, man, I wish I'd had a map because I know like people are asking about, what's the room like. Thankfully, I did have the foresight to think about it beforehand, where I was like, all right, it's not a prison. It's just one of those little like sheriff office.
One room, one hallway with a jail cell.
Keep it simple. Real for theater of the mind. There's just a hallway of cells. Let's just make them all in one room. And then there's a main area with a desk. And then there's a front door. Just keep it easy. Only like 2 or 3 guards. Like, keep it simple. But
theater of the mind. It's about as complicated as you can.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, and literally it ended up being like the tutorial of a video game where it's like, how do I do things? How do I do
feel like there's a bit of a warm up back to D&D again.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
It's been a hot minute for us. Yeah, we ended our last campaign in April, I think. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's August.
Hasn't really been April. But yeah, your Castlegate thing, and then Chris's Aliens. That's like warming back up. Oh, and then of course the whole Roll20 changed its format.
Right.
Yeah.
And the rules.
And the
new
rules.
rules.
Yeah,
And the rules,
we're also
yeah.
playing with D&D 2024 rules for the first time, which, a lot of that's new stuff for us, so.
But it felt like there's a lot of warming back up involved.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be some more growing pains as we get along. Like, we haven't even done, like, tokens or combat yet or anything like that, so there'll be some other fun shenanigans with that, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that was all just written by me, although I say written with the fact that it was mostly ad-lib stuff in terms of the tutorial stuff.
Yeah.
The mission, you can probably tell where it starts, which is the introduction of this Dr. Danelle character.
Yeah.
So that's the first mission from Keys to the Golden Vault, is this museum heist. So obviously I can't go into it too much because we're only just now starting it. But
can I step back and ask a question?
Sure.
I know that it's a dumbass question because it means like your players aren't good.
Oh no.
But like this one had a very definitive point where it's like any player could have gone, okay, and I fuck off.
Yeah.
After we got out of the jail cell.
Yeah.
Were you just relying on each of us to come up with our own motivation to actually like go from the jail to the Golden Vault, dude?
Yeah, I mean that's always the presumption that I think the DM has to make at some point is like, hey, do you want to play D&D tonight? Like at some point, like obviously the DM wants everybody to make diverse characters and wants them to have all their own motivations, but like at some point you have to want to do this thing. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, then you made the wrong character. Like that's kind of where it comes down to it. That's a good point. Yeah. And that's what part of session 0, that was kind of the point of session 0, was like, hey, let's put you all into this situation, and I give you all a primer so you kind of know what the theme of the campaign is. So hopefully we don't run into those issues, and that's advice for anybody watching this, is like, that's session 0. Obviously you should go over like, what's problematic elements anybody has and safety tools and all that stuff that we honestly kind of skip over because we've been playing forever together, but also like what the campaign is going to entail. And what kind of characters would excel and what the motivations should be, like all that kind of information. Why they would want to join. Why they'd want to be involved in this. Yeah. Go over all that shit in session 0 during character creation. Don't wait until session 1 when you have a situation where a character's like, well, I don't think my character would care about this. It's like, oh, well, you made the wrong character. Sorry for this campaign. Then go back and try again. Your character leaves
and goes off into the sunset.
I've read
make a new character.
I've read stories of other DMs doing campaigns, and they would have characters that went down some kind of path, and not at the very beginning, but at some point in the middle of the campaign, the character didn't die, but they like effectively retired because the character like maybe completed their personal arc, or maybe acquired this evil artifact and they got corrupted by it, and the player was like, this is a cool thing, and the DM's like, hey, let's turn you into a villain. And now, so there are situations I've read where people have successfully basically had a character not want to complete the main campaign.
Like,
and then it's kind of a mutual agreement. And then that character retires or becomes an NPC or does something else, and then that player will have to make a new character. So that's always a possibility in our campaigns. Technically, we haven't run into that because everybody seems to like their characters, but I'm certainly always willing to work with people in that way. Hopefully not too early, because we just paid and got really awesome original character art for everybody. So I would feel a little bummed if we had to
make new character art.
We had to start over with some new character art, but yeah, that's always part of it. Is like, you gotta, at some point you gotta take that step and be involved in it, which everybody was. That was awesome. In fact, I even had lines that were like, hey, I realized like I kind of misspoke when I was like, I need affirmation from all of you, and I realized like almost everybody had already agreed to join the organization even before I had anticipated that, because he was planning on saying like, I can't answer any of your questions here, although he did answer some. And it's tricky because he's not being very forthright about what's going on here, and he's all kind of mysterious, but hopefully I sold him as a fun dude. This character, for those of you curious, may recognize him. He's not in Keys in the Golden Vault. He's actually from Waterdeep Dragon Heist, and he is a very, very, very minor NPC in Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Yeah.
Okay.
But I researched through Waterdeep Dragon Heist, obviously, for this campaign, because there's a lot of themes and stuff that's similar, and I really just fell in love with this character. And also Troll Skull Alley, like all that situation, that's actually from Waterdeep Dragon Heist as well. So I'm using elements. I'm not using any of the, like the story or mission stuff because I didn't really ever really enjoy it, and it's I don't know. I can talk about it, but
so I mean I think it's great. Like, so you didn't like the campaign, but you liked certain elements that they had in there, so you just sort of like chopped it up and used it for spare parts. I think that's great.
Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah. Yeah, and I really like the character, and it seems like you all were gelling pretty well with him, so it's always tricky when you introduce an NPC like that, but...
Your Persona-ass music for him was pretty good.
I was like, you know what? He's got his own... He's got his own, like... You said Persona. I don't know if he has his theme music or, like, his place has the theme music. But,
okay, yeah.
Because if it was an RPG, it'd be like you're going to the place, and the place always has that music where you're like, yeah, I'm at the... whatever the one guy's, like, coffee bar is.
Right, yeah.
I think at this point now, like, no matter where we are, as soon as Master Tanel pops up, his music should just play.
Mr. Trench is the guy. Dr. Daniel was the chick who came to to get the
But I agree. It should be.
Yes, I should use that music. Yeah. Yeah. I listened to that and I was like, because there's a couple different musical options I was trying to dig in, which we didn't even get to the battle music here, but I didn't think we'd use it today anyway. And I was like, God, I really like this music, but I don't know if I want to quite use it for an opening. And I was like, you know what? Let's just make this somebody's theme music, and we can play that basically between missions, I guess.
It's like in the RPG, you know, battle's about to start or an encounter about to start when the music starts playing in the background.
Yeah. Let's see. What else about session 1? Is we had just like everybody meeting each other, role playing. Yeah. We had this little tutorial holding cell thing, which I only now regret that I didn't have a little bit of a map for, but just ended up being a lot more thorough than anticipated, which technically meant we didn't even start mission 1 of Keys to the Golden Vault till like an hour and a half into the session. I think it was literally like 11:30 my time, where it was like, all right, now I'm going to pull the trigger on having this this initial quest giving NPC show up.
But I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know, unless there's like an actual like time sensitivity, I feel like just letting people let it take longer than it takes. Is a positive.
Yeah, I think that's one of the hardest. I don't know if it's a skill, but just to learn as a DM is like when not to say anything, I guess, or not push
when
things.
Not to move forward,
and then when to do it. Like it's just trying to get that pacing right of like let the characters do their thing, know what the next event is. It's gonna move things along, and know when to execute that event.
Yeah.
Which
that's a hard one.
It's a hard one, yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's probably honestly easier for you than it is for most DMs because you know us very well.
Yeah.
Whereas, because I think that the whole skill boils down to reading the room.
Yeah.
Like how much are the players enjoying solving this problem versus at what point have they crossed over to, all right, now this is work.
We're just rambling to put in.
Now we're just rambling. Yeah. Now we're just having to just bang our heads against the wall, or it's not fun solving this problem anymore. It's we're just trying,
or just role playing, but you keep like going in circles and stuff.
Yeah,
that's tricky. So
I think probably for other DMs, it's probably a bigger issue. You could probably tell a lot easier when we're engaged and when we're like, all right, we're done with this.
Well, I feel like I had less of training wheels on this one than even most sessions because, like I said, I think a lot of my openings tend to be very linear, very railroady, and keep you guys in the very narrow lane, and then we get to their first combat encounter and we do all that, and this time it was much more just casual, laid back, even though you're all in a jail basically. And then I knew this NPC was going to show up to give you guys the mission, but I don't think he even showed up for a while. It was just role playing thing. And then the other one was obviously the other NPC showing up to give you guys the full mission once you found your digs. Yeah. So I guess
cool. I liked it that it came with the map. Like an actual heist. Like
honestly, that's part of what sold me on this on this whole anthology book is every single one of these missions has a cool fucking like heist map that you all can get some information out. You can plan stuff out. I loved like the just personal nature of it, and this is the one kind of map where I will appreciate having it be like a drawing map too.
Oh sure,
it's very like immersive.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm kind of curious to find out, though. I'm sure. Hopefully, you have methods of preventing us from just stealing the thing and just brute forcing our way back out. All right.
I mean,
killing everyone on our way out the exit door. Yeah.
Well, like combat's always an option in every situation, but these are really designed, without spoiling anything too much, to be kind of an open, situation where it's like you guys are given an area, you know what your goal is, and then it's up to you to try to navigate how best to do that. I've already told you there are some security things involved, and some things, you don't know other things. Part of your job is to gather information, or part of your job can just be to try to brute force as much as you can. Now, this is one of those situations where I did say at the beginning of the campaign, some areas that you'll be in missions for will be just places like in the city that you won't necessarily want to go around killing people, although you could, but that would have, you imagine, maybe repercussions in the long run.
Yeah.
And other places will be more like dangerous dungeon type places with like maybe monsters or something that you wouldn't have necessarily those qualms about. So this is more of the former, I would say.
Yeah.
More of just a place. But like I said, like wanton murder is, think of an open world RPG like Baldur's Gate or Skyrim or something, where it's like, hey, you can tackle this situation however you want, and there will be consequences for different things that happen, and there probably will be complications along the way, because that's how every heist works.
Yeah. So unlike Chris's character, where he tells everybody his name,
that's Barrow with two.
You haven't even got to the way he got caught, which is leaving little coins with V's carved in them when he steals something.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite moment of this campaign, is when Chris's character specifically saying like they know our names, and you're like in the background saying you told them your name specifically. Fuck, that was so funny. Oh, I love it. Which is partly what we're saying about calling you out on your bullshit about being this
exactly.
serious character.
Yeah, exactly. Like the whole Edgelord thing. Yeah, it'll get called out pretty quick and go away. It's fun.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm imagining, like, because I'm playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey right now, and so many missions end up with, because it's a very stealth, it's Assassin's Creed. So many missions are like, you have to kill the commander in the middle of this fort. And you spend all this time sneaking in and getting on top of his building and dropping down through the roof of his building, and you kill him, and then you just fucking run out the front door. And everyone sees you run out the front door, but who cares? Good.
Yeah, you run away, and eventually, like, the heat will die down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This one might be a little trickier because you are in the middle of a city.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So it could be a little more complicated than being in like ancient Greece, for example.
Yep.
I was going to mention also this map that you're looking at, the Waterdeep map, is obviously from Waterdeep Dragon Heist as well.
Well, I hope that point, that stress comes across, right? That we are in the middle of a town. We can't just, bust into this museum or whatever, this gala, and hope to walk out without our faces being known, without,
Yeah. We're trying to actually be, thieves. And
it's not like Grand Theft Auto where you hide for 5 minutes and everyone forgets who you are again.
Right. Yeah, and I'm going to try to play around with that for sure. And plus, this is partly about, I guess I could have gone over more of that with Mr. Trench, but he kind of alluded to the fact that they are a generally good aligned organization. They're trying to help people, help the little guy. And he didn't even quite explain that it's not even the clients that pay you. It's like the Golden Vault itself pays you to get these missions done. So that's why you're like working for people that can't even really pay you for it. It's the show Leverage, which I'm watching a couple episodes of. It's not very good. It's very formulaic for me anyway. But the very first mission of that show, it's a heist show. Their mission goes so well, and they work so well together, and they get this huge payout. None of them ever have to work again. But then the leader is like, "Hey, why don't we just take on these pro bono cases, because we work out so well together, and we like helping people because we all got screwed before." So the whole show's concept is they help people. They don't even get paid for it because they don't need the money, and they have like all these resources because they've got like all this money basically.
Yeah.
So that's not exactly what we're doing here, because you guys are still getting paid from the organization, but you're helping people who can't, who you're not like mercenaries necessarily. You're helping people because they need the help, basically. So
it's more like the person of interest dude.
Yeah,
that's true. An infinite amount of money somehow.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm just gonna do things with my money.
Yep, exactly. Yep. So I'm looking forward to seeing how you guys handle basically all of these various missions, and know that there are, you know, consequences tied to those missions. But
yeah,
you've got your stuff, and now I can properly prep. Although we didn't get honestly as far as I thought we would on this mission, because the first prelude took so long. But I appreciate giving me some more time to plan the next area, and hopefully you can
that's actually probably better, because like it feels like this whole session was the prelude, was the prologue, right?
Yeah.
So now
it just ended up being a very extended
Act 1. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like an extended prologue plus like the very beginning of the first.
Yeah.
Which we actually got, which is nice. We got through all of the like exposition of the first mission. It's like, here's the mission, here's what it's all about, here's the map planning.
Yep.
And then
I'll be very curious how the actual like this group of people attending a gala.
I know. I love that. That's the first like already throws a complication into this like heist situation. It's like, hey, you all get to like dress up and pretend to just mill about this museum area while you're also like scouting things around.
Yep.
Excellent. Anything else about session 1?
Not that it's related to this campaign specifically, but it seems like Reese's characters, all his name starts with a T, huh?
That is absolutely true.
Chad has been joking about that, actually, I think. Yeah.
Yep. Ever since the very beginning. Can we name all the characters with T's?
I was looking it up, but
wait, don't. I'm not gonna look it up. All right.
Talus was his very first.
Talus was the first one. The wizard.
Toro was the last one, right?
Toro was the last one. Tim.
Thimbleweed was Rhyme.
Yep. Thimbleweed. Tim.
Yep.
Was the cleric.
Storm Kings. Yeah.
Storm Kings plus War for Lost Plain, I guess.
Yep.
How many campaigns have we played? Oh, and then
Theron.
Theron.
Yeah. I think that's it for the main campaign.
The main campaigns, like it's all been T's. Yep. So if you've followed that, then yes, that is something he does for all his campaigns. He starts with the letter T.
Yeah, I'll start with T.
Yep. All right, I think this will do it for our inaugural chat. By the way, if you've watched this long, I didn't actually announce this during the stream, although I did say something in the live chat, I think, before we went live. There's a giveaway going on right now in the Discord. I'm giving away a copy of Keys to the Golden Vault via Roll20. As long as you enter any time between now and like tomorrow evening, basically, you can get a chance to win. But only if you have listened to this far, or you paid attention to the live chat, or you just absolutely follow that Discord channel giveaway section, which you probably should, then you will know about it. All right, thank you for joining us. Thank you to Chris and Raymond, and thank you all to the fans for watching, and we'll see you all next week.
See you then.